What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Friday Live by the Hood. We're here every Friday, just kicking it with the people and having conversations about various topics. This is going to be a very good episode because we're going to talk about something that we get a lot of questions about, which is cryptocurrency. But before we jump into that, man, Core, what's going on, brother?
And living like I said, living the dream, man. Every day above ground is a good day.
This is true. This is true, man. We got to welcome our special guest. This brother right here is a successful businessman. He owns multiple franchises of a tax business, but he also is an avid investor. And I know he has real estate, the stock market, but here he's going to talk about cryptocurrency. He's an avid investor in cryptocurrency and has created a cryptocurrency course called Cryptocraft, which I'm actually taking now. Wanted to bring him on to talk about it. We got the brother Kamil Salter. Kamil, how are you, good brother?
I'm good. How are you today?
Oh man, we doing amazing, man. We doing amazing. Before we jump into the crypto convo, though, Corey, man, what's going on? How was the market treat you this week, brother?
Uh, the market, I mean, it treated me. Apple was running, so I made a couple dollars off of that. Microsoft did did a dance, so I made some money off of that. Those are my, you know, some short term trades I did. Uh, I restructured my portfolio. I got rid of all my long term holdings for right now, and I put it into leaps. So I
All right,
don't
well,
have any.
let's slow down real quick. Explain. Well, first of all, explain what a leap is to our viewers, and also what made you make that decision to kind of change your strategy.
Um, I was just looking at the money difference because if I was about to spend $2,000 to buy 5 shares of Apple, and I was like, if I buy Apple Leap over the next year, instead of me making $2 or $3,000, maybe $4 or $5,000, if Apple go from 100 to 200 with that Leap, I'll probably make about 10 grand. So I was just looking at the money difference. That's
What
all.
explain what a leap? Explain what a leap is to the folks out there who may not know what a leap is.
It's a it's a it's a option. It's an option call that's at least a year out.
Okay. All
So
right.
it's
So
so the time frame on it. I mean 6 months to a year most of the time, but most leap contracts is a year to out.
yeah, and LEAP is an acronym, by the way. It's long term equity. What is it? Long term equity anticipation security. That's what it is. Long term
Yep.
equity anticipation security is what LEAP
Fixed.
stands for. So you took out some leaps on Apple. How far
My
out are your leaps?
the Apple Leap is a year out. It's well not exactly a year out. It's till June of next year. No, what's that? July of next year. June, July next year. I forget which one. And then the Microsoft Leap is also in that same time frame. And then I took out some leaps on some ETFs that also have Apple and Microsoft as the top two holdings. Um,
So as Apple and Microsoft go, you got a lot riding on Apple and Microsoft. So I guess you see good things for those two companies. What I did this week was MGK. Every week is at least one MGK every week. The MGK ran a long call on Ford, and that honestly, like that's really I spent money to troll to troll Kamari and Malik
I forgot. I
because we
did the
took
same
out.
thing. I did the
Yeah,
same
you
thing.
did too. We all took long calls on Ford. I think what the 2022,
Yeah,
um,
the January 2022.
January 2022, $17 call on Ford. What's the other thing I did? Oh, I ran a cover call on DraftKings, which I got my yeah. Every time I run a cover call and I money, I feel like I'm robbing somebody, right? Because I literally did nothing but ran a cover call on DraftKings, and I ran that like Wednesday for Friday, which is crazy, and someone still bought it. Um, I ain't gonna front though. It got a little crazy today. It got close. My cover call was it was August 7th, 36.50. And when I ran it, the number was around like 33, 32, somewhere around there. But I was like, oh, this is an easy one. Then it started going up today. It went to like 35. I was like, oh, okay, hold up. I was like, slow down, go fast. You know what I'm saying? But so
You wouldn't have
MGK
been
though,
mad.
everybody know. No, I
You
wouldn't have
wouldn't
been
have
mad. No,
been
I
mad
mean,
though,
listen,
because
my
all you was
average
going
entry
through.
point, my average entry point was $20 on it. So I can't lose at this point. But at the same time, I like having a couple hundred shares so I can just keep running those cover calls and just print that cash off. printing
But
that cash off is
even if it run up on the buy up, all you're gonna do is sell the puts on the other side and get it back at the price you want it back, and then run the cover calls again. You ain't slick.
I know. I'm running a full circle, man. Listen, I'm totally running that play, but at the same time, it's just like if I just keep doing this and just keep printing money. Like, listen, this is probably my 5th or 6th, maybe even 7th cover call on DraftKings. Like DraftKings, this has been a good summer for me in DraftKings, man. Before we move further though, let's we got some folks that are chiming in. We got Don. Don said, "What's up? What's up, Don?" Don is checking in from Japan, Camille. We got cats that check in from Japan, man.
Here.
Yo, real quick? I hear y'all talking your option talk. I made my first couple option trades this week, so I mean, I jumped into the game.
How'd you make out?
How'd you make out? Yeah.
Well, the first one I did was I did Square. I mean, I've been a Square person. I saw that I had bought, because of crypto, I've got pretty good with technical analysis because a lot of crypto is based more of technical than fundamental. So I'm pretty good at reading charts. A couple weeks ago, I saw AMD was kind of forming an ascending triangle, but it was in it. But the day I saw it, it was pulling back. But I bought into AMD. Sure enough, earnings came out. It shot up. I think I bought it like 58, went to like 80. So I saw that same thing kind of happening with Square. Square was a pullback to 127, but I could see it was consolidating around resistance into a extended triangle. So I bought an option for 130. Just bought one contract, and then sure enough, earnings came on out, and also was playing the fact that like Bitcoin was rising. I know a lot of people could buy Bitcoin with Square, and then also all these susus out, people using Cash App. Sure enough,
to the Cash App susu. Yo, that's gangster.
And the drawing went up to like Wednesday. No, I'm sorry. The earnings report was released early on Tuesday. Wednesday morning, it was up to like. My 600 went to like 2,500. I was like, I cashed right out. And then I did another one, GameStop. GameStop, when it was the highest shorted, had the highest short. I forget what you got, the short. I'm drawing a short interest. Had the highest short interest on like of any stock. And I was just looking like just the smallest like positive news could create a short squeeze where everybody's trying to cover the short, so they're buying, increase the price up. So I bought. They were only like I got like 25 contracts for $100. So I was like, let me play that. Then it just so happened an article came out and it said like video game sales were exceeded expectations in June, so it kind of pumped up. And so I closed out like 30% of the position just to lock in some profit because I didn't really know what was going to happen, and it has come back down. But even still, I got my my basis out and I got a tiny amount of profit. So whatever happens, the option expires next Friday. So those are my first two. And I did enter another one today on Dropbox because I'm using just a technique I like to use in crypto, which is just buying blood, like seeing something that's like an extreme dip buy on like a solid company like Dropbox went down 10%. I saw the same thing happen yesterday on Upwork, went down 14%. And sure enough, it bounced, but there wasn't a lot of options. There wasn't a lot of price options to choose from. Whereas Dropbox, I was able to get a lot more closer. So I bought some contracts, and we'll see what happens.
Listen, man, you already killed it, man. You get it. But now that you made that first trade, you see the power in it, though, right? I mean, definitely. That's amazing, man. Real quick to Richard though, MGK is an ETF, and for anybody who's watched like our live, I pretty much talk about MGK every week because that's just like what I've been buying every week since the beginning of this year. And speaking of GameStop though, I was shorting GameStop since last August up until in the middle of COVID, and it's been killing it. And Corey will tell you, I got the idea to short GameStop from the kids in our camp. So we've been doing a free camp every summer, but we're trying to put it online now, which we probably should have some info about that this week. But all the kids in there told me that no, we don't go to GameStop no more. F GameStop, this, that, and the third. Started shorting it, and would you know that I was printing money all year until one of them hedge fund dudes came in and bought a big piece of it, and then I got out of that because it started acting ridiculous. More comments, brother man. What's up, brother man? How you?
What's going on? That's my man. That makes, I might cut you off. I was gonna say, brother man. That's
which one, brother man?
Yeah, he makes all the 3D printed stuff. Like he got a 3D printed chest.
He make that Bitcoin?
Yeah, he made the Bitcoin. He makes all that stuff.
Tell him to put his business joint on here.
I don't know how
Brother
to
man,
do it.
put a link to your. Well, we'll tell him to do it. He's in the comments. So, brother man, if you're still watching, put a link to your site or your IG or whatever, so we can share it with the folks. Jose, what's up, good brother? So we can say, because I saw that Bitcoin that he had in that picture for you. That would look dope. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, that's
who
my
else in here,
cuz.
man? We got
That's big little cuz. That's big little cuz right there.
hey
Yeah.
Kia, how are you? All right, so we got also on YouTube, we got some comments too. Elaine, what's up, Elaine? How are you? Yeah, man. So and we got Jabbar in the building too. What's up, Jabbar?
Yo.
Um,
What's going on?
yeah. So listen, man, what you said is crazy. I didn't run any plays on Square, but I own Square in a whole position, and it's on Cash App. I have a thing I call my Dorsey portfolio. So anytime I make any sort of money on Cash App, what I do is I just buy some Twitter and I buy Square and just leave it there. I call
Dorsey,
that
Jack.
my Jack Dorsey, my Jack Dorsey portfolio. It's the only two stocks I own on Cash. I really don't use Cash App as a brokerage, but I found that interesting and I like those two companies. But sound like you got a whole strategy working for you with the technical analysis. All right, so
Yeah,
here's
I
the
mean,
name of his company here. It's So Solutions. All right, brother man. It's So Solutions, man. That's what's up. What else we got? Malik's in the building.
what's up, Coach?
Oh, that's here's Malik comment here, man. Cover call Carter, man. Malik, I just ran another cover call on DraftKings today, man. So, I'm feeling a little excited this evening. So It's So Solutions, I believe, is probably he put it in here, so it's probably his ID and website and all that. You know what I'm saying? See what else we got here. What's happening, players? Man, shout out to everybody in the community watching this, man. Make sure you hit the like button, whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook. Hit the like button and share this with your people. But Kamil, man, like it sounds like you're moving all your strategies from crypto over to the options market, man. You gotta leave some food for us, man. You can't be like dominating everywhere, man.
Nah.
But it seems to like it seems to work the same for you, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, so that, I'm sure y'all talk about this, but it's four aspects to trading, where you got the, you got your technical analysis, fundamental analysis, market sentiment, and then self-analysis. And the biggest part is that, to me, is just getting control of yourself, like your emotions, like the money you're dealing with, the fact it's money. So once you handle that, I mean, I basically just like two types of trade setups. I like dip buys and I like breakout trades. So you read those in the charts, and they're very consistent as far as how they play out. And I play those, and then seeing what you can actually power up those trades in with options. And then, crypto, you could do the same thing, but also at the same time, I mean, there's just so much more price swings in crypto. Like a 10% drop on crypto is nothing, but in the stock market, it's a big deal. So like in crypto, I'm trying to see like 30%, 40% drops, and then I want to start scaling in to play that bounce, because it's just physics. If I throw something to the ground, what's going to happen? It's going to bounce. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what I'm doing with dip buys. And then breakout trades is just reading. It's just looking for a triangle. If you could spot a triangle on a chart, like an ascending triangle, then you can play a breakout trade. So I'm just kind of,
that's dope, man. We got a question, but I think we can answer this question and the question I'm getting ready to ask you, Kamil. So we've had you on our podcast before because you're successful in the tax business. As I said when we came on, you own multiple franchises of a tax business, but you're also big in the crypto space now. What about cryptocurrency made you start to take a look at cryptocurrency? And we actually have a question from YouTube, and this is a question I want you can answer this, I guess, in answering that question. She wants to know, like, if you had to explain to someone, a novice who didn't know anything, what is cryptocurrency?
Cryptocurrency is just a digital asset, kind of like, where you used to be able to pick up a CD and put it into, your CD player, or the same thing like a dollar. You used to hold that dollar. Well, now that dollar is just digital. So like you have digital CD, DVDs went now to a digital streaming service. And it's something that's, nobody, a lot of times, like Bitcoin, for example, nobody owns it. It's just, it's a ledger that's stored on a computer, and that same ledger is on computers all across the world, and they all are supporting that up at the same time. So if you, I like to say like Marvel with Hydra, how do you always used to talk about, like, you know, chop off one head,
Hail Hydra, yeah.
you know, it comes up. Like it's just that. I mean, I don't. It's like it's something that's like you can't hold it per se, but it's, I mean, it's there. It's a network. It's like an accounting. It's like a ledger. So in accounting, you have debit. Every transaction has a debit and a credit, and it's on a piece of paper. Well, that piece of paper, that ledger, that blockchain ledger, is now on a digitized on computers all across the world. And different cryptocurrencies solve different problems. Bitcoin was meant to be money, but because of the volatility, it's more like a store of value. So I mean, that's kind of how I would describe it. Even
now,
I would describe it like we've been using digital money for the last 25 years. It's like your debit card. You know, you have physical money, but when you exchange on your debit card, that is a digital dollar. You're using digital dollar. You're just using ones and zeros to account for having dollars in your hand. And Bitcoin has some of those same features. So it's a digital piece to currency.
Gotcha.
Okay, now Camille, let me ask you this question. Because of the ledger, right? Do you think that your background in accounting is part of what like drew you to crypto? Why it made sense to you, and why you got into space? Because you mentioned, you know, we know that you were already successful in taxes and accounting. Is it because of that it drew you to Bitcoin, because you understand what it means to have a ledger and debits and credits, or what was it about crypto that drew you to the space?
Well, that part did make sense to me, but that's not. But you know, like I was mentioning y'all before, you know, Jomo got me into space, but what kept me was Jomo. I'm sorry, not Jomo. FOMO, fear of missing out.
Okay, FOMO got you. Okay, so what kept you there then?
So what kept me was the technology, the you know, the money. I mean, for me, like I've tried a lot of stuff in my life, and I had never been a part of anything where I had like the money accumulated that fast. And so it was, you know, and I've always been a technology guy. Like I like technology. I mean, you know, whether you know, I used to be able to do some basic coding, used to do some basic websites and all types of sort of technology. You know, like I took that picture that I sent to you, Corey, that you didn't want to use, the one with the you know, my VR goggles, like whatever technology. I like.
I know it was me.
No, I'm sorry. You know, the technology is just what kept me in. And then like, for instance, I had a trading bot that was trading for me. I mean, I can't get it to work anymore, but for a while, you know, I had this bot. It made trades for me. I was making like $10 or $20 a day just running this bot on an old laptop. So just being able to play with different technologies and make money, and then trying to solve like you know, real world problems, even though, you know, so at the time everything was just like, it was like, you know, crypto's taking over the world. It's going to do this, it's going to do that. When I, you know, as a novice coming into the space, but then realizing a lot of stuff was just like vaporware BS, or, you know, didn't really amount to anything. But at the time, it was just exciting. 2017 was exciting. I mean, I was in front of my computer like all the time, just looking at this stuff. It was just so much information. I was just having a good time, and that's what kept me in. But then I guess what kept me through the bad times or the down times when there wasn't as much money in the space was just like knowing the market cycles, knowing how stuff plays out, knowing like every 4 years Bitcoin goes on a bull market, you know, after the halving goes on a bull market, and just kind of knowing like, oh, here I got into space, I didn't know nothing, and I was able to have these kind of results, but now I have this experience, I have this knowledge, now let me put it to place for the next bull market, which you know, and see what I can do when I really know what I'm doing. So that's kind of what kept me in the game.
Okay. We got a comment on YouTube. Indiana Kicks 219 says, to add, I would say it's a digital coin attached to a system with different case uses. So, and that's something I want to get into as well, right? So, being in a space for as many years as you are, and we had a conversation. Another thing I didn't mention, that Camille is also a part of our investment group. So we have a Black investment group here in Philadelphia. You know, and shout out to everybody from I Buy Black if anybody's tuning in. Our investment group. And we were talking about crypto on our meeting last week, and you were mentioning how during that run you like literally paid off a mortgage with you know, income created through cryptocurrency. Right. And what I was going to ask you is, were you buying, for lack of a better term, were you buying shit coins at the time, or was that strictly Bitcoin, or what were you in?
I had the shotgun approach. Just anything that was out there, I was buying. I had a wallet, you know, just full of everything. So yeah, I had a lot of shit coins. I mean, me and brother man, we had a little Facebook group. I remember we bought this coin called Pat Coin, and it went up like 400% in one day. And I was like, man, I'm holding. So I made one of my biggest mistakes for last time was just I did not take profit. Like I would just hold, like, oh, like this is gonna last forever. Like, oh no, I had a coin that went $200 investment went to $60,000. I was like, nah, wait till it go 100,000. Like, it was just greed and just
that show you how nuts things were back in that time. When you saying things about those kind of percentages. First time I heard use crypto was on Queen of the South. Yeah, because she was trying to move. And I heard that episode, and I be in the house. That's right. Richard says he was also flipping them shit coins. I think back then a lot of people were, man.
Yeah.
But let me ask you a question now. So did you stay in those positions, or are you now more on the Bitcoin side? Or are you still looking at a lot of altcoins?
Well, I would say that I have consolidated a lot of my portfolio to just a handful of projects, but I would say recently, probably in the last few months, I have been expanding to other projects. I'm a Chainlink. Well, I've been in Chainlink. I'm late, but I was in there, like I was buying Chainlink probably like for the last 6 months of 2019. I recently got into some. I mean, I don't want to give out choices of what people should be thinking about, but I mean, I've got it.
No, so it's not. We don't want to say investment advice, but let me ask you a question. Like, let's phrase it this way, because a lot of these are projects, and that's the one thing that's interesting. That's what makes Chainlink. And I was telling Corey this a couple weeks ago. I don't really mess with a lot of the shit coins anymore. I went through that phase too, but what happened to me in Bitcoin is years ago, Corey is the one that got me into Bitcoin. I was trying to understand it. I was reading white papers. He was like, man, if you don't stop and just buy some, and I did, and I made a ton of money, and I got scared when it started going up so fast. And I told the story in our show several times. I got so scared because I had never had I've been investing for 20 plus years in real estate and the stock market. I've never had anything going to run like that. Like, it was unprecedented. So I sold and bought property. I went back to what I know. But then I started just buying small positions of Bitcoin and Ethereum, like just small positions. I just put something in every week, dollar cost averaging. But Chainlink was the first project I saw. When I looked at the project and read the paper, I was like, this is interesting. So what I'm going to ask you is, what projects are you looking at that interest you, or not just from a financial aspect, but what projects are you looking at that you think actually have use?
Well, I mean, so right now what's hot is, it seems like, and it kind of stuck on me, was Ethereum, like all the DeFi projects. But outside of that, so I'm doing a lot of research on that right now. But outside of, like, what my biggest, where my money, where my mouth is, I'm putting my money where my mouth is, as far as like what project is that I like the best, or at least that is my biggest position, is Tezos. And I like Tezos for a number of reasons. One of at the time, it was it's one of the oldest projects. It has it has a huge war chest of money. Like, I had like over 600 million in cash, Bitcoin, Ethereum. Like, it has, and maybe more than that by now. But then also, like, there was a major problem that the two biggest things that I saw in crypto as a person coming in, like, one of the craziest moments in 2017 was when Bitcoin halved from Bitcoin to Bitcoin Cash. You had those two different blockchains come out, and that was because the miners couldn't agree with the I forget, somebody couldn't agree, and so at the time nobody knew what was going to happen, and so like that's when I got out the market, because I didn't know what was going to happen either. But Tezos is able to solve that problem, where they had governance built in. It's governance built into the project, and the other reason why
it is,
I kind of went with, and then that same thing kind of happened with Ethereum to Ethereum Classic, where Ethereum, when it got hacked, you had the half of the community was like, well, we need to get these people their money back, so let's just reverse the blockchain back to where it is before the hack, so everybody can have their money back. And then the other people was like, well, no, that just goes against everything that which cryptocurrency is, like a immutable blockchain. Like, we're breaking our social contract by doing that. So that's why you have Ethereum and Ethereum Classic. Ethereum Classic is the people that said, no, keep it the same. Let's show this hack. Ethereum there's no hack where people lost their money on there. So because there was no voting, you had these splits. But now with Tezos building in that voting mechanism, and then the other thing that I got heavier for Tezos than Bitcoin was because I thought about it, like Bitcoin it's already had huge gains, and not to say it won't go even more, but could I get Tezos at 40 cents, 50, 60 cents? and then have more growth there than with Bitcoin. And I can potentially flip some of those Tezos profits into Bitcoin. But then also Tezos has something that I like as a, we talked about this before, passive income. Like every 3 days you get rewarded with more Tezos. So I thought about like, if I build up a certain size position, that's a certain amount of passive income that I could get every month passively. And, as a real estate investor, I was interested in passive income, but one thing about real estate is, you got carrying costs, you got repairs, you got to deal with,
you got tenants. real quick, because we got some questions out here. I just want to say about Tezos, I got to give some credit, right? So I actually do own some Tezos too, but I'm not gonna lie, I got into Tezos because of Rich, and I know Rich is watching because I got so me and Rich are in a group together called Crypto Culture here on Facebook. But I got tired of him showing me his money from staking. Man, he started, and I told Corey, I was like, "Yo, man, I ain't never staked a coin before," and he was like, "Look, this go ahead and stake something." So I own a ledger, and one of the coins that you can stake on the ledger is Tezos. So when Rich kept showing all his staking profits, I was like, "Look, man, I'll give me some staking profits." Yeah. So I went and I went and got me a position. Yeah, man. Shout out to Rich, man, for giving me inspiration to go stake some coins. But so yeah, and Ledger allows you to do it right on your ledger.
Right now,
we have a question here.
To do the cold, like they allow you to do cold staking. That was like one of the first projects, and I have a small position in VeChain myself. So.
Okay, that's what I was about to ask you. That was a question with Indiana Kicks 219. Have you looked at VeChain? I don't have anything. Corey, are you familiar with VeChain?
No, I'm in. I got 5 coins. I'm on 5 coins.
What's your 5 coins, Corey?
Tezos, Chainlink, Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin.
That's a nice portfolio.
That's literally that's literally the same ones I got. I got one more too. I got and that was another one I was testing when I was testing the staking one. I don't even know what it is. Like, that's how crazy it is, because I was just trying to see how staking worked. And on the ledger, it was 2 different coins that allowed you to cold, like, stake on a cold storage. But I'll look that up. Here's a question. Oh, Cosmos is the other one. Atom, ATOM. So Cosmos is the other one. I got a couple of them just try to see what the staking is like. He said Tezos is my ish. Yeah, man. Let's see, Eleni Martin. So who creates the different Bitcoins, right? So they're different coins. They're not necessarily Bitcoins. They're different cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin is just cryptocurrency, and they're different projects. So each project solves a different problem, so to speak. We have, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and at this point, there's probably thousands of coins at this point, right?
Yeah, there's thousands. There's new projects like every day. New project, but there's different. There's also, take it to a next level. You got tokens and you got coins, where like Ethereum is a coin, whereas Link is a token built on the Ethereum network. Bitcoin is a coin. Tezos is a coin. So you have they have their own networks. Like they can get that network effect. A lot of times, like tokens they can be similar to more to like a traditional like company, because of somebody like there may like be a company that owns the most of them, the majority of them, and they haven't been like distributed yet. And there's like there could be somebody like with Bitcoin, nobody can go after Satoshi, but with some other tokens, you could go after, you could find the owner and be like, yo, shut this down. Whatever. So it's kind of that risk with coins versus tokens. And I kind of get into that. And of course, you can see it on like a coin market cap, where you could identify coins versus tokens, but anybody can create. There's no real barrier to entry in the crypto space. You can, as long as you know how to do it, you can create a coin, create a token. You just have to have
some great comments here. And it's funny you mentioned that. You went down that path in terms of answering that question, because I want to get your thoughts on this. Don, that's a good question. What are your thoughts on XRP? Because here's the thing about like XRP. You have people that either like love it, or what's the hashtag on Twitter, like XRP, #XRP the standard. Or you have people that just completely hate it and think it goes against everything that the crypto space is supposed to stand for. And that's something we could talk about in a second too, what this space is supposed to stand for. But what are your thoughts on XRP? And both you guys can answer, but let's start with you, Kamil. What do you think about Ripple?
Well, it was the coin that got me into crypto. But I would say at this point, with more knowledge about the space, not to say it won't ever like have gains or whatever, but the bulk of the holdings are held by the company, and they sell a certain amount every quarter, every month. So it's a lot of selling pressure on the market for XRP. So if you look at Ethereum, I'm sorry, not there. If you look at Ripple's performance this year compared to other cryptos in the same like top 10, it hasn't had anywhere near as much as the gains because the owners are constantly selling their XRP on the market, suppressing the price, and that's my thoughts on like it's not really.
It's too many of them. It's just too many coins. It's just too many coins. It's never going to. So
that's your take, Corey?
It's just too many coins. It's never going to go because it's never going to be enough demand to meet the supply. There's just too many coins. So it's never going to go up in price enough to get you the exponential gains of the other coins. It's just
another question coming in from YouTube. Maybe one of you guys can handle this. What do you think about reserve rights and REM protocol? So whoever wants to handle that.
I'm not that.
That's next level right there. How about you, Corey? Are you familiar with reserve rights and REM protocol? I'm gonna tell you what
reserve rights. No, REM protocol. No. So that's a no and no.
Okay, I know reserve. I think there's a stable coin if I'm not mistaken. Reserve rights token. Yeah. So it's okay. So that's a stable. So I guess the question. Let me see. REM protocol. Coins? Yeah, that's how I was going. That's how I'm taking it. Mm-hmm. Well, REN is a coin itself too. Yeah, I don't. Those are coins I don't touch. But what do you guys think about stable coins overall?
I think they serve a good purpose. I mean, you need there's some interesting use cases. Like for instance, like say for example, you have you got I don't know $50,000 USDC stable coins on your ledger. I mean, you could actually, we talk about like not having your money, but having your money. You could have a ledger. You actually don't even need to have a ledger. You could go from one. You could. I don't know how I should say this or not, but you could be in America, go to a different country, buy a ledger, put in your what do you call it? Your seed phrase.
Your phrase. Yeah.
Create your whole ledger with your $50,000 in stable coins and turn it to whatever currency you want to turn to. So I mean, it has a use case. It helps for me. I like stable coins when it comes to trading, where I can like if I like for instance, sometimes it takes a lot of time to get your money on an exchange or off the exchange, but because of the volatility, you don't want to keep your profits sometimes in a crypto because it's volatile. But if I can transfer that into a stable coin, I can keep my profit at a certain point until I'm ready to go back in the market, and I don't have to worry about coming off the market. I mean, coming off the exchange, going back on the exchange, so on and so forth. So I like it for the like a hedge against like the volatility of the crypto coins while I'm actively trading and on the exchanges.
Yeah, it's just so many coins and so many different projects going on. Like she asked about Polkadot. I think it's Polkadot, right? And I've heard of that. I've seen that on CoinMarketCap. But I'm not familiar with what the project does because again, I stopped going further down that list, looking at the crazy ones, which leads us to another point that Rich is making right here. He says if he could do it over, he would just have stuck to the coins Coinbase was carrying and didn't chase shit coins. I know a lot of people who feel that way, who just went chasing shit coins because they were looking for that same, euphoria and thing, watching Bitcoin explode the way that it did. Indiana Kick says 2020 was the biggest gain seen in XRP maybe the last 2 years. He has it, but he's not big on it. Yeah. And here's another point about the stable coins we were just talking about. Without stable coins, the space can't work. And Coinbase just started letting you stake the stable coin DAI. Yeah. So shout out to DAI.
You could stake. I didn't know BC on Coinbase as well. Just hold, just like if you're not trying to get real technical, you could just right now you can buy Tezos on Coinbase and get rewards automatically. You could buy USDC and get rewards automatically. And I guess they just introduced the DAI. I didn't see that, but I'm not saying it's not there. But yeah, there's projects you could definitely like. Coinbase makes a lot of stuff like easy if you're not trying to get real technical into the
space. But you know what? I have like a love-hate relationship with Coinbase because to me Coinbase is the feds at this point. Like they got way too chummy, and this goes into the conversation I want to have about what this space is supposed to stand for. Because one of the things that makes me want to invest in this space is I also invest in precious metals, right? And what I like about that is it's outside of the system. And what I mean by outside of the system is you don't know what I have or what I don't have, right? If I have a brokerage account you know what's in there. If I own real estate and I have papers to a certain property, you know what I have. But if I tell you I have crypto and I tell you that I have gold or silver, you have no idea. It's outside the system. Therefore, I feel like I'm in more control, and Big Brother is not necessarily in my pockets. And every time I read something about Coinbase, it's about them cozying up to the government. Now, this is just my perspective. I'm not speaking for you, gentlemen. That kind of bothers me. It kind of bothers me to the point where I was like, where's other ways that I can acquire crypto without necessarily going through Coinbase, right? And there are ways you can do it. I mean, but there's also like Gemini, which is a little bit cheaper, but it's the same thing. They're cozying up as well. So just my thoughts about the space and what it's supposed to stand for and what it's turning into, because a lot of them are trying to just replace the system when this is supposed to be a different system, if that makes any sense, which is why I hate XRP. How would you define this, you guys? Go ahead.
Now I'll just say that, like 2017, it was like more the Wild Wild West. You know, the government saw that, you know, people was making money, you know, governments all across the world, and like US. So then the SEC said, you know what, all these ICOs, initial coin offerings that are out there, we're going to come after you no matter what country in the world they were initiated. We're going to come after you. So then so a lot of countries, they banned US citizens. So as Americans, we can't, there's a lot of places we can't go and buy crypto. But, you know, fast forward to now, you have a lot of DeFi projects that you don't need it. All you need is your wallet, and you can interact directly with another person with their wallet, and y'all can trade. There's no middleman, so nobody knows what you're doing, what you have, so on and so forth. The only the only challenge with that right now is that it's just a little more tech savvy, that you, like, the average person is not going to grab their ledger and go to Uniswap and, you know, look at a system that looks like something from Windows 95 and trade their coins. I mean, it's just not super user friendly yet, but that stuff is there. That privacy, that whole middleman, you know, keep stuff private is there. It's out there. It's just a little more advanced than for the average person to get their hands on it. But it's starting to catch up steam, and as soon as make it simpler, is you know, it'll be back to what it was supposed to.
And that's probably my libertarian views. Eleni says, what is a project? So how would you define a project when it comes to the crypto space?
I would just say something that's trying to, you know,
either one you guys can answer.
Yeah, it's just like any business. A project is like a business. It's there to solve a problem, and they create even a coin or oh my God, I'm having a token. Yeah, a coin or a token. Yeah, a coin or a token to help solve the problem. So that's all a project is.
Yeah. So that's why, to answer your question, Laney, that's the different. That's why there are multiple things. That's why cryptocurrency is a space. Bitcoin is just one project, but there are multiple projects you can get into. So he's agreeing with what I said. Without a doubt, they the Fed. I'm telling y'all, man, Coinbase is the Feds, man. Like, yo, you know, they're starting. They do make things easy, but you know, that's why they make everything easy, man. You know what I'm saying? Trust Wallet pays almost 7% staking for Tezos and Cosmos coin. Yeah, I'm getting 8 right now though on the ledger. I got 8.6 on my Tezos is what I'm getting right now. Right on the ledger, and I got the Nano X. When I got the Nano X, and I got it like last week or the week before, and I posted about it, like it opened my eyes again. So every time something happens, right, there's a new project, and I read about the project or something happens in the space, I'm just reminded of how this is the future, right? So as someone that before, when outside was open, speaks at conferences, every conference I went to for the last 3 years, and most of these are real estate conferences. I'm speaking at real estate conferences, but there's always a session on blockchain and AI. So I already knew that these two things are the future because there's always a session on blockchain and AI. And I'm like, you know, there's something to this space. And then as the things progress, I start to get an idea of why this is the future. So when I got the Ledger X in my hand, I'm looking at it like, hold up, first of all, it's wireless. Second of all, but now that they have the Ledger Live app, I can go anywhere in the world and transact without using the bank. It's kind of what you said, Kamil. Like, I can put my USD coin on there and I can move $1 million and go anywhere in the world and no one knows I have $1 million. And this is what, to me, what the space is really about. It's about controlling the hands of the people, a big brother, so to speak. So I kind of, you know, get into it from that standpoint as well. So it's not just the finance piece that attracts me. I told you it's kind of my libertarian views, but I see how it can be the future. And the subject of the show is why everybody should have some crypto in their portfolio. So can you speak a little bit about that, Camille? Like, why, in your opinion, do you think that everybody should have just a little bit of, if nothing, a little bit of crypto in their portfolio?
Well, from a fundamental perspective, let's just say, right now what's going on, Bitcoin, best form of asset of the last decade, just hands down, best form of asset. So outside of that, our money with COVID, we saw the Fed print all this money, like all this, just print as much as they want. So that, that's devaluing our money. Here you have Bitcoin. Bitcoiners, there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. So no matter what, that's it. That's a wrap. So you will have an asset that has a limited supply. So, supply and demand, if there's a limited supply and the demand stays the same, well, then that means the price of the asset will go up. And so this every 4 years you have the Bitcoin halving. So what that means is to create a Bitcoin, you have to solve like a computer solves an algorithm, and it produces, and for solving this algorithm to record a transaction onto the blockchain ledger, that computer is rewarded a piece of Bitcoin. Well, before May, 11th or 12th of this year, you could get double the amount of Bitcoin you could have got after that, the halving date. So now the supply is reduced as far as what's being put out in the market is reduced, but the demand is either the same or increasing. So you have the value going up versus compared to our dollar, which they just whenever somebody feels like printing some more money, they'll just print some more money. So here you have something that's just going to store value and potentially go up. It's not guaranteed, but it should go up. So if I could just allocate a small percentage of my portfolio to that 5%, 10%, automatically, I'm hedging against the US dollar. I'm hedging against losing my buying power of the money that I currently have. So that's what I look at it as. If I'm not even just really trying to do nothing crazy, just having a hedge against the US dollar, fiat currency.
Got you. So just as a hedge against inflation, because the dollar is becoming like losing value pretty much on a daily. That's one of the reasons why I buy silver and gold, because it's the same thing. But here's the issue I have, right? And when you talk about a store of value or using it as a means of exchange, to me, honestly, Bitcoin is terrible as a means of exchange. It's too slow. Right. It's just too slow. And Bitcoin Cash is even worse, which it was supposed to be like solve that problem in terms of being a means of exchange. But I hate that too. To me, the fast one is Litecoin, but Litecoin doesn't seem to be getting the same attention that it once did in terms of people working in that project. What's your opinion of Litecoin?
I'm not super knowledgeable, but from what I heard about Litecoin, it's basically just a copied code of Bitcoin, but it it's designed to move faster. But as far as like the development behind it, I don't know.
It's exactly what it is. It's just a faster moving Bitcoin. Yeah. But it's 200 times faster.
Way faster.
When it's faster, it's like 200 times faster. Would take an hour with Bitcoin with like a Bitcoin. I tried to make a Bitcoin transaction. It took me an hour and some change to make it. And the same transaction, I did that same exact transaction with Litecoin. It took me 30 seconds.
And that's the difference. And that's why I'm like, and shout out to all my plugs on the precious metals, because now they actually give you a discount if you pay with crypto. You know what I'm saying? So let me see. Another one, Rich. Somebody else love that Trust Wallet. I know he's been talking about the Trust Wallet. I just been, I'm cold storage. Shout out to our brother Kamari. Said he needs to catch up. Absolutely catch up, brother.
Come on.
You out here trying to take my meme title. That's why you wouldn't.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? But says take a look at the V chain. Nike, China, some wine company, one of the biggest pizza places are all getting ready to use that system to track the supply chain. I definitely have to do my research. You said you do have some of that, Camille. Yeah, I got to take a look at that.
You get staking rewards on VeChain as well.
Oh man.
Okay. Never knew it was a limited amount.
Yeah. Worry about quantum computing.
All right, here's a question for you guys.
Well, Corey, you go ahead. I mean,
go ahead, Corey.
Very, very short answer.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
what? I mean, I don't know when it.
You want to explain why?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Corey.
Go ahead. You go first, Camille.
Now I was gonna say, like, I don't, they say quantum computing could potentially break Bitcoin's algorithm. I don't know that for a fact. I mean, I'm just moving forward with what's going on now. If something happens, something changes where that happens, then I'll adjust. But right now I'm just dealing with the current narrative and how things are operating right now. But if something changes, I'm sure, well, I will say this: every time something like that comes out, there's something else that comes out to fight it. So we'll see, but I'm still just holding my position.
Yeah, I just want my privacy. If quantum computing can break the privacy pieces of the blockchain and cryptocurrency, it'll basically make it worthless, because that's the point of the cryptocurrency. So yes, I'm worried about it. I don't want my crypto to be worthless. Yes, we have crypto in our investment. We are a little ways away.
Well, hold on though, real quick. Hold up. I didn't get to that one yet. Here's what I will. First of all, Kamar, you need to chill, man. Just call me the meme king. Anyone who knows, right? I'm the finance meme king on the internet, man. Y'all can go to our IG page or our Facebook page, man. My memes are, top 5, and Kamari's coming for my crown, man. And he's getting better. I give you credit on air, Kamar. You're getting better, but stop it, man. Don't throw rocks at the throne, good brother. Let's see this real quick. It's 2 questions, right? Do y'all talk about crypto in your investing course? I grabbed that. I'm glad you asked that question, and that's followed up with this question, which is, this is from Kamari as well. Okay, where should someone start researching cryptocurrency? Great questions, you guys, and I'm glad you asked. Another reason that Kamil is on, because Kamil has a course. It's called Crytocraft, right? And we're partnering with Kamil to add Crytocraft to Buy the Hood University. So it's already in. If you go to buy.com, the course is actually there. And by coming through Buy the Hood University, you'll get 20% off of the Cryptocraft course. And I'm taking and it's amazing because it gives you the history and it gives you the understanding and the basis and also the baseline you need to understand this entire space. And that's what I like about it. I was telling Kamil before we came on, one of the more valuable parts of the course is the history piece. So you have an understanding of why people believe it's needed and why it should be the future. So just go to Buy the Hood University and you can, follow the instructions right there to get your 20% off of Cryptocraft. So that's something else that we're adding, because again, as the title says, we believe that everybody should have some exposure to the space to at least understand how it works and maybe just grab a little bit of something. So, shout out to our sister Nairobi checking in. Nairobi, what's good?
Here, what's going on, Roby? Kamari
in the comments laughing at me, man. Yeah, he trolling me, man. He trolling me. So I gotta show him this, man. Y'all Buy the Hood memes are kind of. I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thanks, cuz.
I appreciate that. Yes, it's definitely a meme war going on, man. And shout out to Malik, who's also in our meme war. He says I'm getting under this. It's all love, bro. Listen, it's all love. He coming for my title, man. Listen, I'm the meme god, man. But getting back to this conversation, man. There's still, to me, when I look at the space, a lot of things that need to be solved, right? So, coming from the real estate perspective, right? Peace. I see Rich said he got a bounce. We appreciate it, Rich. Thanks for checking in with us. But when you talk about the real estate space, and I look at like title, right? So, like just getting a title checked on a property, getting title cleared. I feel like the blockchain is prime for that. And I know some people were trying to solve it. No one's been able to, in my experience as of yet, unless there's a project out there. But do you think that's something?
Well, Tezos tokenized like a property in I think in Italy earlier this year. So like that was like Tezos has partnered with T0 to like that whole like tokenized assets. So you have like looking at tokenized real estate, tokenized artwork, tokenized like a business like I have, like being able to take an old school asset that traditionally like it's hard to put liquidity into it, but now tokenize it. So now you could sell bits and pieces of it and not have to worry about the traditional old school ways of doing things. Like you could if you have a real estate company, you could sell 1,000 to somebody, 1,000 tokens to one person, 10,000 tokens to one person, and everything just kind of is operating on the blockchain. And that's what, I don't know if Overstock has that T0 platform, and where you can now, it's like they're adding more and more assets to it. And I know that they have something that they're doing with Tezos. That was another thing. Like Tezos like if Ethereum is doing all the DeFi, Tezos is like doing a lot of stuff with the tokenized
Smart
assets.
contract. But here's my question: in a situation like that, right? So let's say I have a piece of art and I want to tokenize my art. You know, let me see, what's that? The Hammer 2000. Was it gonna be? Yeah, the replay will be up once it's finished processing. If not tonight, by tomorrow morning, it'll be on our YouTube channel. But when you talk about tokenizing like a hard asset, right? So I have a piece of art, I want to tokenize it and sell pieces. Like, what does that even look like though, right? Because to me, that's like ripe for fraud. I put a token up for this piece of art, people buy all these tokens, and who's to say that I don't, go disappear with an OnlyFans chicken with my art and never like put it up? Like, how do you know that? Like, so that's what I don't understand.
Well, that's the smart contract. That's the, a contract is basically, a smart contract is basically like just a computerized contract. When this happens, this happens. So if if the artwork has to be submitted to a place, and then once it's validated and that part of the contract is been honored, then the tokens will be I guess produced, and then they could be released. But it's all like computerized. Like you're programming. This is out of above my skill level, but you're programming your contract to do this stuff for you, and over time this will get better and get smoother. But yeah, that's what's going. That's what decentralized finance.
It's almost like staking then. So in that aspect, I would have to like stake my art and be held at a certain location. I don't know how the SEC is going to feel about that though. Like, you're cutting out a lot of people if you start doing that.
Yep.
That's just technology. Things are going to keep evolving and moving fast. I don't know, the end result of what's going to be the final project, but that's the direction that they're trying to take it. So,
yeah, man, and that's how I know that Coinbase is the Feds, man. Because it says quantum computing will make mining faster, but it won't necessarily give others access to your crypto holdings. And that's from Jose. Yeah, because Corey made it sound doom and gloom with that quantum computing. He says it's going, because you're right, man.
I'm shook because the more computers can do, that means the more they can do. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of weird. I watched enough of iRobot and stuff like that to know, man. Like, these movies, they not just predicting the future, man. They telling you it's already here and what could happen with it. You know what I mean? So, I watched enough of The Simpsons and iRobot to know what could possibly, happen with the quantum computing. I've seen Terminator. I've seen all three of them. You know what I mean? I know, Skynet, Skynet is a real possibility, man.
It's like Google, was it Amazon or Google? Is Skynet one of them?
Yeah, man.
We don't know which they on a race to be Skynet. We don't know which one yet, though. Who's going to win that war? All right, so this is interesting. Though. So this looking in the future and getting back to the topic at hand of why it should be a part of your portfolio. You said it's the best performing asset of the last decade. What's interesting is it seemed to be like people's sentiment, right? Because the hype isn't there as it once was. Now it's coming back a little bit. But it's still like up 40-50% this year, even in a year where most people don't think that it's up. It's still performing relatively well. Like if you're if you're a hedge fund and you're making 40% of your money, like they're gonna put you on a cover of magazines. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the kind of numbers that you're getting in this space.
It had a 300% price swing. You had the low of 3,800 in March, and I think it was it might touch 12 like a couple either last week or the week before.
Last Tuesday. It was today, Friday, Tuesday of this week. It was 12. It was over 100.
Come on, let me ask you this question, right? So it's a question I've been meaning to ask you, right? So you've been in this space since then. You've been studying this space. You're a student. How did you be honest with us? How did you feel when that thing went down to like 3,800? Or did you think the sky was falling, or you like, look, I'm just gonna buy more? Be honest.
I was actually I wasn't like scared or nothing. I was disappointed because I ran out of money. Like I was buying and it kept going lower, and I ran out of money. So that frustrated me more than anything. Like I couldn't catch the lows, but I wasn't like it's like I talked about, like trading is like, it's part of it is mental, being in control of emotions. And I look for those opportunities. The only thing that would have upset me is like not having enough money. So since then, I've had to change my trading accounts to where I have money just sitting inside specifically for those type of events, and that's all it's for. So I won't have to worry about missing, like not running out of money because I'm you know, I'm buying too early or whatever the case may be. Like it's specifically for that. And you catch something like that, it's, you know, like I talked about earlier, you throw it down to the ground, it's going to bounce. It went down, went from like, I think it was like 10 or 11,000 down to 3,800. Now, what that was March, it's August, back to 12,000. So it's like free money, you know.
Yeah.
So,
you just created money out of thin air.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. Because I just wanted to like see how you felt, because I know a lot of people.
To that, Jim, hold on. Respond to that. The lows for Bitcoin get higher every year. So I don't just look at the top part of Bitcoin. I look at where the lows go, right? So, you know, in 2017, the lows were, you know, $700, $800, $900. Then last year, the lows were, 2018, the lows were a little bit higher. And then 2019, the lows were a little bit higher. And then this year, the low was 3,800. So if you bought in 2017, you know, at the low of 900, and if you bought this year at the low of 3,800, you know, you missed 4 times appreciation. You missed 400% in those 4 years because of the price change of Bitcoin, and you missed over 400%. So that's what I'm saying. Like the low is 400% higher than it was 3 years ago. So you got to look at not just the highs but the lows. And so that's how I look at it. Like if the low is getting higher every year, even if it go down, I'm still good with it.
No, I'm only asking because, right, as someone who's online every day, I remember that time, and I saw folks panicking, not Kamil or anything, but other folks that were panicking, like, oh man, I don't know. And you see him now, and everybody's like, I knew this was going to come back. I was buying everything. I'm like, I remember you, like, you know, you was scared then. Like, it's easy now to say I wasn't scared. I remember some folks were scared. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I was with that 30 minute. Was nice. I'm with bro. I ran out of money too.
Yeah, I mean, you just gotta really just be. You gotta reprogram your mind. You just like I'm like when in 2018 when like Bitcoin was at $20,000 and everybody was talking about it, I was kind of like I like being active or being in it when nobody's like excited about it, talking about it. That's when the opportunity is, when everybody's like euphoric and excited. That's when it's time to sell. That's when it's time to like clean up your bags, when everybody's like in it and they're excited. So when you get like the trash man asking you like, yo, about Bitcoin, you know, it's a problem, right? Scott taking over. No, I'm serious, man. Like it's so much truth in that, man. I remember that like during the real estate bubble. Like, you had that to me is the funniest part of that movie, The Big Short, when they're in a strip club and the stripper's talking about her investment property, because that's so real. That's how it was. When you start having folks like that who really generally don't care about the space start talking about the space, it does get scary, right? It's almost like you have an underground rapper who's your favorite rapper, and then he like blows up, and you're mad that everybody knows about him. Like, yo, it was cool. It was better when I was the only one listening to you.
Man.
Although you was broke.
Yeah, because it's going to change the music. It's going to change the music, man. I want now everybody's favorite rapper. I don't want he ain't just my favorite rapper. He everybody's favorite rapper. I don't want to hear that. Man, get out of here. It's funny as hell.
All right, so come on, right? We're going to get into it. But let me ask you a couple more questions before we get out of here. Like, do you think there's a certain number of holdings in the portfolio? Like, I know you said you still take the shotgun approach? Are you still all over the place? And I know you said you consolidate a little bit, but how many coins would you say? You don't have to give us numbers. How many would you say you're in?
I'm probably would say between like 10 and 15 projects, but I would say 70% of my portfolio was between like 2 coins. So
Bitcoin and Ethereum.
No, Bitcoin and
Tezos.
No.
He already said he's putting his money where his,
he did. You did say that. You did say that. And I got another question based upon what you just said, and also just thinking back to this whole conversation, man. You don't seem like you really about Ethereum. Like, you don't really talk about Ethereum a lot. Is it something to that?
Well, at the time I was like I was focused on accumulating Tesla. Like I got a certain amount of money, and here's the reason why. So I wasn't really thinking about Ethereum that much, but then also what I was thinking about was Ethereum what I thought it was going to have a lot of selling pressure because of all the ICOs. All of the ICOs, initial coin offerings that came out, they raised Ethereum and gave you the token. So here you have these companies that didn't perform, but they had all these ICO, they had all this Ethereum. So they need money to fund their lifestyles, their operations. They ain't bringing in no revenue. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of sell pressure. So if you notice, like Ethereum, like up until recently, Ethereum wasn't really performing as well as some of the other coins, because anytime it bounced up to a certain point, yeah, people like, oh, let me get rid of my Ethereum that I didn't raise. You know, I raised 20,000 Ethereum for nothing. I let me sell it before it gets, before we run out of money. So that was my thought process. But now I'm seeing, DeFi starting to come back, and I'm actually looking to, Ethereum's going to Ethereum 2.0 at some point, and they're going to go to they're going to go to proof of stake from proof of work. And to be able to, to have a node, you need 32 Ethereum. So I'm like, damn, I'm a little later than I want to be, but my goal now is to get 32 Ethereum so I can create that other asset. That income stream just from having 32 Ethereum, have my own proof of stake node. So now I'm backing it now because I'm seeing DeFi, and I've accumulated the major bags of what I want to accumulate. But I'm a little, like I said, I'm a little later to the party with Ethereum than I wanted to be.
Yeah, and that's the comment we just got on Facebook. ETH is going to go this year from DeFi, what you just said. Yo, and see, Kamari remember too. He was there. He remembers. People with shook ones.
Yeah.
Not you guys, but I'm just saying. But you can't tell them that now. They're like, no, man. I'm like, listen, man, let's go down. Let's go back on your feed. We'll see how shook you were. Listen, proof of stake versus proof of work. If you had to, real fast, if you can explain that to the audience, the difference between proof of stake and proof of work.
Well, proof of work is a algorithm to produce to mint or create a Bitcoin or a Zcash or Ethereum Classic, or even Ethereum for that matter. So you have a ledger that's spread out on multiple computers all across the world. The only way that transaction could be recorded to the ledger is if one of those computers solves the algorithm. Then they get rewarded some Ethereum, Bitcoin, whatever, and they get to record the transaction. And you need like hardware, like GPUs or something to actually do this. Versus like proof of stake is basically is more. You don't really need any hardware or anything. It's just more like you're actually locking up some of your, let's say, Ethereum or Tezos. You're locking it up, and you're securing a node, which is basically one of the validators of the network. You're securing that node, and because you allowed your Ethereum or your Tezos or whatever to be locked up, you're getting rewarded for doing that. You don't really need any technology to do it. You don't need any like hardware to do that. Like I have like, now that you got to talk about cold storage, you're doing your ledger. I got an old laptop where I just run some, so that's kind of, if that makes sense, that's what that is.
So I guess in Tezos, what do they call it? A baker? Yeah. In Tezos, you're a baker, right? Isn't that you're a baker? I think you get 8,000 Tezos and you're a baker.
You're a baker. Yeah, you're a baker. You get and then this is I guess shilling Tezos, but they're actually working on something where anybody can just get an app and become a baker, versus now where you have to have a little more technical know-how. So I'm looking forward to that. Definitely gonna be a baker.
Okay, I'm about to ask you, are you a baker now? Because I could stake with you if you tell me what because you could change who you stake with now.
Oh yeah, I know. I just did it. I just changed my baker because I got like double the rewards. But the it's like I said, it's out of my. I don't want to get too like technical. Like I got to start reading code and doing all this. Like that's out of my.
No, I got you. I was just asking, man, because if you're a baker, man, I'm all about supporting each other, man. If you're a baker, let me know, man. Like
Yeah, I'll stake with you, man. I cook with you.
Yes, sir.
We bring our Tezos, man. Yeah. Listen, so about a portfolio, right? If we're looking at portfolio, say it's a pie, it's 100%, and it's a good question that Kamari had. In your opinion, if someone, they're not really into the technical aspect, but they want to like hedge against inflation, what percentage of their portfolio do you think they should put in crypto, right? Someone who's not going all in the space, but they just want to have a little bit to kind of like, give them diversification in their portfolio. What kind of percentage would you think?
5 to 10.
Yeah. I mean, like anything, the same amount you would hold in cash. Like I hold the same amount in cash as I hold in crypto. So whatever I'm holding in cash, I'll hold the same amount in crypto.
Okay, so 5 to 10%.
Yeah. Like even in my trading accounts, I always hold at least, I hold at least 10% in my trading accounts as far as just cash. You know what I mean? I trade with a certain percentage, and then I always keep a certain, because if something, if the market take a dump, I need to be able to get in. I need to be able to,
You got to buy the dip.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about if it take a complete dump. Like I ain't talking about no correction 10% dip. I'm talking about like a 30%, like 1/3 of the market went the shit in March, and I didn't have that buffer that I had. I got it in April. I got but it was already on the way up back in April, so I didn't catch the full dip. You know what I mean? But in March, the market took an absolute crap show. You know what I mean? And so I need to be able, if it does it again, I want to be in on that.
Definitely.
All right. So my last question to you, Kamil, is about trading, because you mentioned that you do trading in the crypto space as well, not just investing but trading. So you said that you're in about 10 different projects in terms of just like long-term holds. What crypto do you trade? Like, is it specific ones you trade, or is it one that you trade?
So I get into this on the course, but you have to have set your stuff up a certain way. So I have my trading accounts where I trade those coins where I'm holding that 30, that my other bunch of projects. I'm not trading all those because they're not really trade. So basically right now I'm trading basically anything I can get. I can trade on Coinbase Pro, but I'm limiting them to mostly Bitcoin, Link, Tezos, KNC. I've been trading those the most frequently, and because I can just read their price action the easiest, and I've just been doing really well with those lately. So I'm sticking to those four. Anything on. Yeah.
You stick to technical analysis, not really fundamental, but technical. That's your specialty, is technical analysis.
Well, technical for the short term stuff, and even for the long term, because I want to try to get in. If I'm doing if I'm buying a project for the long term, like for instance, when something gets listed to an exchange, I'm not rushing to buy it. I'm waiting to look at the charts for it to flat out to accumulation, and then I'll look to buy it in, and then you can kind of just wait for it to go up. But yeah, technical. So in crypto, technical analysis holds more weight than fundamental analysis, but there is fundamental analysis that is you could trade more for long-term plays, like playing the market cycles. Just give an example real quick. Talk about in the course where if you had just put $100 on January 1st, 2017, $100 in a Bitcoin, $100 in a Litecoin, $100 in Ethereum, Bitcoin. Crypto was in its bull market by December 31st, 2017, you would have had $15,000. So playing the long-term swings of certain projects can be rewarding, but in the meantime, in the short term, I'm trading short-term stuff to make money in the short term, to pay a car note, buy whatever, just doing. That's how I'm kind of operating at the moment.
Okay. And I just want to say also, looking at ETH might even be higher this year than Bitcoin. ETH is up almost 70% this year.
Yeah, ETH has been going. It's just,
which is crazy, right?
It just went up to $400,
nuts.
200 a couple weeks ago, if not lower than that.
Them DeFi projects, man.
And over the last 5 years, ETH is up about 13,600%. And that's just ETH. In the last 5-year period, 13,006. That's nuts. That's absolutely insane, man. Listen, man. So thanks for all the knowledge you shared with us. For the folks out there watching, we do have the Cryptocraft course available now at By the Hood University. Go to bythehooduniversity.com, or you can inbox us on any of our social apps, and we can get you the link to get the Cryptocraft course. You get 20% off with our code. Our code is By the Hood, but get the link from us and get that 20% off, and you can take the course to get a better understanding of the whole crypto space. It gives you the history, gives you a little bit of how Kamil set his account up, how he trades, and just why everyone should have some sort of investment in the space, because this is the future, right? There's even rumors now that the U.S. government is going to create their thing on a blockchain, their own money on a blockchain. So we're going to move away from cash altogether. Do you think that's actually going to happen, Kamil?
I think we're already using digital money to a certain extent. So I think so. Just real quick, just this whole I don't know if and being in the tax business and this whole stimulus money that came, that that thing was crazy. Like, you know, we were really under duress as tax preparers, like people thinking that, you know, the government's not really giving out information, the IRS is shut down, and so like, but there's no real way for them to communicate and get the money in people's hands. So there has to be a better way. So I do think just off seeing that catastrophe that happened, like there's going to be a better way that comes out where it's going to be digitized monies, where they don't have to worry about mailing checks and all this other type of stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, man. And what do you think? It's a good point right here that she says in the on Facebook. I see they talking about this coin shortage thing, right? So
That's
even with the whole shortage of coins, everything that happened on COVID kind of changed everything.
First of all, I don't know how they make 18 billion coins a year. So we're like, everybody ain't like black people that store coins in a back room in a water bottle, man. Like, there's coins out there. So what is they talking about? They just listen, man. Everything they do is to program you to get to this digital dollar, man. Because there's definitely coins out there. The U.S. government produces billion coins a year.
That's what she's saying, though. That's actually what she's saying. She says the coin shortage thing is making her wonder. Like, that's part of the plan. So that's actually what she's saying, right?
Yeah,
because
man.
you're trying to move off of go to a cashless society altogether, and people feel differently about it. They feel like people who are underprivileged will suffer in this. The black market will suffer. Yeah, that's one answer to it, right?
Won't suffer. If you buy the crypto, you won't suffer, because if you get a ledger and you buy the crypto, you can go peer to peer, and the government still won't be in your business. That's a way to solve that.
And now with stable coins, to the point that Kamil made earlier, with stable coins, you don't have to worry about the volatility. You know, I prefer DAI over USDC just because, honestly, it's out of pure because Goldman Sachs is behind USDC. If you read about USDC, it's Goldman Sachs in partnership with Coinbase. But Goldman Sachs was also the same people. They were also the same people a couple years ago. Told you don't buy none at all. How you go from don't buy none at all to now you back in a whole stable coin? Like, what's good with that?
They got a whole division. They just created a whole damn crypto division.
Yeah. So you can't go from one extreme to the other. So I'm more on the DAI tip. If you're gonna do stable coins, then send me some DAI. Anyway, man, listen, Kamil, man. First of all, thank you for your time, man. Hold on, one quick question. We gotta answer this question. Yeah, we gotta answer this question. That's out here. It says, what is a ledger, right? So a ledger is a device that you can use. And I think Kamil's getting to his too, but I'll show you like mine. I have mine actually right next to me. This is what it looks like. So yeah, so here's my ledger here, and it allows you to take your cryptocurrency off of your computer, and you actually could put it in what's called. You got yours too, Kamil. You got the X or the S.
I got a bunch.
Which one you got, Kamil? You got the X or the S?
I got
two of them. I got the X and the S.
I haven't set up my X yet. Actually, I'm still using the old one, but I got them. I got a bunch of them.
You gotta get off that, man. Once you start the X, you're never gonna want to use the S again, man. I got both of them, and because I literally ran out of space on the S because the S don't have that much space on it.
Oh yeah, it doesn't have a lot of space, does it?
Yeah, but, so I got the X there, but.
Well, I was going to, it don't really matter. You could take the app off, put it back on. You don't lose your crypto; it's still there. So I know. But I get irritated with that, man. The X is where it's at, man. So the ledger allows you to take the value, your crypto, your value, and put it on that device, which kind of looks like a thumb drive, and you can have it in your pocket. And that's one of the powerful things about crypto is if I'm walking around with that thumb drive, I can walk around anywhere in the world and move as much value as I want to. And that's one of the more powerful things about the space. And if I lose it, it doesn't matter because you have to have a recovery phrase, which is about, 20 different words, 24 different words, something like 20 something different words.
24 words.
It's 24 words. Yeah, whatever it is. But
I met this guy. He has his website with 1,000 words on it, and 24 of those words are his ledger or his seed phrase. And so he keeps his ledgers uninitialized. So if he ever needs to use, he just looks on his website, gets the words, and initialize. The other thing, what I would say, the purpose of these are like leaving your money on an exchange. There's risk. An exchange can get hacked. Anything can happen, but you don't really have possession of your crypto truly. But if you have it on a ledger, it's in your possession. You own it. You own it in either way, but nobody can take it from you. Like it's in your possession. Your keys. You own the keys. The exchange doesn't have access to your keys. And with a lot of stuff going on now, you can trade directly from your ledger or stake or whatever. So you never losing possession of your keys, your private keys. They stay with you. They're safe with you, and you're avoiding third-party risk.
And Eleni, that's kind of what makes it powerful, because like I can do business with anyone online. I can do business with anyone across the world, and there's no like it's peer to peer. I guess I'm going directly to them, right to them without having to go through a bank. No record of it. I could do whatever I want to do, which is why a lot of people say only criminals want that. But it's not even about criminals. It's about like, putting the power back into people. And that has value. That has value there. Indiana Case the City agrees with you, Corey, man, about your statement that let's see, they're moving us to a digital world. Look at China and you see the future. Yes, that's big facts. But yeah, that ledger is very powerful, and that kind of showed me what the future can be if everyone has it. And I've heard some of those stories too. Like I heard of one guy had like a painting done, and he had like a seed phrase like in the painting in different spaces, and people do all sorts of crazy tattoos. There's all kinds of craziness you hear in the space. Rich was telling me about somebody who like memorized it, and he just memorized. I'm like, that's too crazy, because those words are literally all over the place. It's like peach, basketball, summer, like it's all over the place.
Yeah.
But that's the power in it. You can literally, and I thought about this even when you're talking about passing assets from one generation to the next. If you have real estate and you have stocks and all these other asset classes, there's so much you have to go through, pretty much so the government can collect taxes. If I have a ledger with several $1 million on it and they have my seed phrase, they just take it. You know what I'm saying? Like you give me, here's my ledger. Now you got all the value. You have all my money. And I mean, so on one hand, you see the power of it. On the other,
if the stick up boys roll up, they don't have your 24.
Give it to them. Take it.
Yeah, you want it? It's yours. Here, take it, because they don't have my phrase. They don't have my phrase. They can have the ledger. They don't have my phrase.
And not only that, even without the phrase, you're still a pen to even use it. So like you got a pen and a phrase. So
it's a pen and a phrase.
If you want it, go ahead. It's yours.
And that's the beauty of it, because
it's like
there
your
are people
debit
in the
card.
crypto space.
It's like your debit card. If they don't have the coins and if they don't have the password to you, they can't use it. Ain't nothing you can do with the shit.
Yeah, I mean that's actually it's actually safer to get debit card. If I go take your debit card and I walk to the store next door, I could swipey without even. I don't need your PIN. I can use it as Visa. This is even more safe.
I mean, it's an extra layer of safety.
There's nothing I can do with it. Like if I take it from you, there's literally nothing I can do with it unless I have your seed phrase and first of all your PIN, which is what makes it powerful, right? And the X is wireless, so you literally just walk around with a thumb drive, and who knows how much you have? No one knows what you have. That's the one thing. No one knows what you have, and you can do exchange right there from the actual device. And having those seed phrases, you just be able to remember that or have that hidden somewhere. That's the one thing. Don't lose that. Because if you lose that, depending upon how much you have, you can be in some trouble. But anyway, man, because we can go on tonight talking about this space, man. But I think that everybody should share this video. If you have any questions, please send us an inbox. Again, you can look at the course Crytocraft. Go to bodyhooduniversity.com. Kamil, thank you for your time, good brother, man. I appreciate you sharing your knowledge and wisdom about the space, man. And now that I know that you team Tezos, I'm gonna keep bothering you now as I watch Tezos and do my staking.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Yeah. And let us know when you become a baker too, man. We want to support you, man.
Yep. For sure.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. To the folks out there watching, man, we appreciate you, man. We will be back next Friday. Who knows what the topic will be about? It'll be something in the space and investing business, whatever it may be. But we appreciate all your support. Continue to watch what we have going on. Our next podcast drops this Wednesday, and that's with the Ivy Investor. It's the attorney, the investor, and our sister from the Black Wealth Project. So you can check me and Corey out on our the Black Wealth Project this Sunday. Kamari, who was in the chat room trolling me, he's also a part of the Black Wealth Project, and we aired live on Facebook as well as YouTube on the Black Wealth Project's page, and that's every Sunday at 7. But the Ivy Investors also will be on our podcast next Wednesday that comes out, and we'll be back here next Friday. So with all that being said, man, Kamil, we'll stay in touch, man. Hold up, this last question, man, because Kamari I told you I had trolling, man. We're gonna ask you for the pin and phrase. All criminals ain't dumb. Listen, man, all criminals ain't dumb. And that's true. They could ask you for that. But the thing is, they have to be able to. Are they walking around? Are they going to stick me out with their laptop in their hand? Like, are they going to have their laptop in their hand? because there's still so many things you have to do. Yes, I ain't worried. Come on, man, stop trolling me, man. Listen, man, to the folks out there, watching, man, we appreciate your support, man, and we'll see you back here next Friday. Peace.
All right.